I said in one of my videos that you show up tired, you still do it. You show up stressed and you still do it. But there is a thing here. I want you to put energy behind everything you do. I don't want you to jump into doing things without being backed by the correct frequency and emotion when you do that thing. If you do that thing in a state of vagueness, when you feel sad, alone, lonely, and stressed, but you don't feel like doing the thing, then don't do it. Because first of all, what I recommend is you cultivating the strength and the feeling of ability of you actually doing the thing. Otherwise, you'll not be able to have the power. So the first thing I would highly suggest you do in order to increase your energy is to do dream building, right? The term has been first coined, as far as I know from our research, is that Kevin Trudeau on his YouTube channel speaks about dream building as being one tool that can actually raise your energy and can actually keep your mind focused on the long term. And this is what I want to talk about today. How can you actually do dream building? And there is another book which I quote here, is Riches Within Your Reach by Robert Collier. And this guy also said about dream building, but he said it in a different way, not necessarily this way. And he said about taking and cutting from the newspaper or magazines pictures of the houses and the cars you want and all the things desired, and then look at them daily. But today we live in an age you can watch a video, you can read about, you can also write about, as in scripting and all that. But you need to have this certain time allocated for dream building every day in order to raise your energy. And you pair this dream building with whatever you want to do to achieve that dream. And this dream is going to create like a magnetic effect where it takes you from the current state you are and it raises your energy. And this energy is enough to make you work properly towards your dream. Because from here, from this position, from the low position here, you will have to push yourself up, but from the higher position, the dream will drag you towards the dream, basically, right? So here you will use a lot more power. This is power. And here is the pool, but the pool will only appear when you're ready. Okay, this is your dream, and this is you working. Okay, so what the dream building does, dream, and we call it here building. So what the dream building does, it takes all your effort, all your working power, and it's gonna pull you into its direction, and it will increase your power twofold. It will increase your power a lot, by a very lot, will increase the power. So this is what the dream building does. So we have Robert Collier 100 years ago. It was actually 1947 when Robert Collier wrote Riches Within Your Reach. And Kevin Trudeau in 2009 wrote his book, Your Wish is Your Command. And so based on these, we have a solid foundation of how the psyche works and how can you increase your power, basically. Not necessarily power, but energy power, right? So you can actually do everything to a larger scale, right? Because you have from here, from 1 to 10, you have the levels of energy, like Frederick Dodson said. And based on this scale, you have here is the cheapest phone, and this is the iPhone 17, whatever, or the cheapest lifestyle, right? This is premium, this is cheap, and these are lifestyle. Don't forget, cheapest lifestyle. This is cheap, 1 and 10. Let me do it with a different color right here. You need to understand this distinction clearly because it's gonna turn everything in your favor, right? So the dream building, what we're gonna talk about in this video and how to do it properly, will increase your power, more power. This is what the dream building does. It gives you more power. Like that. So we have these three people, Frederick Dodson, Robert Collier, and then Kevin Trudeau, who said he's been a member of the 33rd degree of the Brotherhood. But there is not just these people, there are loads of people who actually said that dream building can change and will change your life. But what we want to do is to take the dream building and actually increase the power. Let me write actually energy. Let me write this with red. And this is what you need, energy power in the dream building. So dream building will increase your energy from the cheapest to the premium, but you can only have the pool when you put yourself in the position to create yourself a dream building routine where you actually empower yourself, your psyche, for your subconscious mind to take the feelings you see from the things you desire and transmute those into actions, into concrete actions where everything you do, all your deeds are of a premium nature. Everything you do, everything you have must be of good quality. There are mediocre musicians and there are high quality musicians who make quality music and understand everything. They are able to perform at this level rather than a cheap one. Why? Because they constantly focus on their dream and they are building it every day. Now, how can we improve this? How can we increase the energy? First of all, you need to understand that you will have to create a routine where you mostly focus on what you want and you give yourself the energy. You take the energy from your dream to increase your energy, like Frederick Dodson said, so you can only have premium things and only output as premium actions. This is the only way in life you can achieve greater things. And this is the only empowering way you can motivate yourself to achieve higher states of consciousness and also higher states of quality output per unit of energy used. Just like Emmett Fox said it, you want your actions to bear more fruits. You will have to believe in the law, but this is how you make use of the law of the universe, basically, and it's not just one, it's multiple laws. But for now, let's just sum it up into one. But you have your dream building, and we will use that to increase your energy and your power. And also, just like Wallace D. Watson said, put power and efficiency in everything you do, and you will have it. Right, so let me quote from the book now, right? Because when we're doing dream building, we're actually creating a picture. And he says, the picture of your desires, held with faith and purpose, is taken up by the formless and permeated to great distances throughout the universe, for all I know. As this impression spreads, all things are set moving towards its realization. Every living thing, every inanimate thing, and the things yet uncreated are stirred towards bringing into being that which you want. All forces begin to be exerted in that direction. All things begin to move towards you. The minds of people everywhere are influenced towards doing the things necessary to the fulfilling of your desires, and they work for you unconsciously. So for me, that's the Bible. Basically, that's for me is the ultimate proof. What that man said, he was a farmer, by the way. So we have the premium and the cheap. We want to create into our minds a state, is a specific state where all our desires come to fruition. Now, based on another book, Frederick Dodson's Levels of Energy, from 0 to 1,000, when you cross this threshold upwards, you are being pulled, right? This is your pull threshold. Let's say 500, it begins to manifest itself slowly. The pull begins only when you create the state, okay? If you haven't read the Frederick Dodson Levels of Energy, please read it. It's a very, very good book, very inspiring, I'd say. You don't have to work for your dream. The dream is gonna work for you, basically. It's gonna do the work for you, with other words. So you have the premium. This is where you put power and efficiency into everything you do, as well as D. Watson said. Now, I have here in the book, I don't recommend buying this book, though. It's on Amazon. Somebody wrote it by hand. It's got many mistakes in it. It says, every act can be made strong and efficient by holding your vision while you do it, and putting the whole power of your faith and purpose into it. So you will need to keep your dream before you when you take action, when you do everything, literally everything, from the smallest to the biggest action, from the way you speak, from the way you project energy, to how you sleep in the bed at night. So you use this dream building basically to increase your power. And he says, in saying that you must hold your vision while you're doing each act, however trivial or commonplace, I don't mean to say that it is necessary at all times to see the vision distinctly to its smallest details. It should be the work of your leisure hours to use your imagination on the details of your vision and to contemplate them until they are firmly fixed upon memory. If you wish speedy results, spend practically all your spare time in this practice. By continuous contemplation, you will get the picture where you want, even to the smallest details. So firmly fixed upon your mind and so completely transferred to the mind of formless substance that in your working hours, you need only to mentally refer to the picture to stimulate your faith and purpose and cause your best efforts to be put forward. And this is how we get to do the efficient action. Now, let's see how we can do a dream building routine and set up a routine for you. Here, we have two great books we want to touch on. And we're going to take the routines from these books to improve yourself as a person and make every act be more powerful. There we go. Here is the two books that the authors emphasize the importance of having a visually stimulating imagery in your brain at different times of the day, especially in the morning and during the evening before you go to sleep. So you give the dream building to your subconscious mind, and with it, with the power of the psychocybernetics, will help you achieve that new identity that's going to be able to deal with the things at the higher nature and the highest possible level of energy you can conceive about yourself, because it's self-image dependent. And then from there, you can take on actions that will turn you into a disciplined man. So the first book is Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. The second one is Self-Discipline and Neuroscience by Robert Collier. The two authors emphasize the importance of you committing to a rigorous schedule where you visualize basically the reality you want. And if we pair this with Frederick Dodson's work, we can achieve some amazing results. So what Frederick Dodson says is that we as people, we need to relax more when we take on challenges like these. Be more relaxed, be more observant, and try to deal with your counter intentions in a way where you can allow yourself to become the person and actually do the change and consider yourself a disciplined man. So the way you counteract your intentions is simply by reasoning. And how reasoning works is that you look at the thing you want. You see clearly you can't achieve that for now. Or you can see a bit, or based on the levels of energy, still by Frederick Dodson, you see how you can achieve those things, and then you start to be pulled towards it, right? Because it's more immediate, requires less time to achieve it. But when you're farther away from the thing, you begin to have doubts. And the way reasoning works is to lower those doubts and that resistance towards achieving that thing. And this is how you become the person who can actually take on the thing. And having thus patience and also high energy to create the value required for the thing, or to create the persona based on unconscious mechanisms to become the identity to own, have, do, or be the thing you want to do or be. So a quick note on reasoning and how it works. A counter-intention is an objection that runs against your stated intention. So if you decide X, another part of you is saying yes, but. So it comes up with reasons. And this is why your intentions don't manifest. So what you need to know is that an intention brings up its opposite. So while you state what you want, you're noticing and releasing the inner no. So in Dodson's logic, it's like this. You set an intention, the mind generates a counter-intention. And so when your attention gets split, your state also suffers. You will not be able to raise your energy. And if you can't raise your energy, your heart, the feeling, how you feel is not going to change. And so you will not be able to attract. And this is where dream building comes in. You will be able to attract when you put into your mind only intention after intention after intention. Now, what you need to know about the counter-intention and how to deal with this war, you will first have to reduce the resistance towards the counter-intention. So stop fighting the fact that they exist. Then what you do, you take on a persistent counter-intention and you repeatedly alternate. You state the intention, you bring up the counter-intention, and then back to intention until the objection loses charge or meaning. And what you need to understand about this is that it's all a decision. You need to be firmly convinced. How you become firmly convinced? By giving your subconscious mind the dream building to give you the state where you are firmly convinced. Back to the psychocybernetics. Here what you need to understand is that Maxwell Maltz discovered that the brain and the human nervous system is a goal-seeking organism, and that the human behavior is governed by the self-image. And everything you do has to, this is your self-image. All your actions have to match your self-image. All your actions have to match your self-image, right? So your actions have to be consistent with your self-image. What you need to understand here about the self-image and the actions is that dream building will need to become part of your self-image and how you see yourself, so your actions can match your self-image, because your brain and nervous system will compare your actions and your state to the target, to your dream in this case, to who you are basically, but you're not yet, but to who you are in state, not in reality. And the best thing about this is all automatic. Next, to program your states into your neurology, you will need to be consistent, because the servo mechanism requires a consistent target. And so how can we calibrate the experience? First of all, how can we calibrate the self-image? We need to understand that the nervous system learns through experience, the actual experience and the vividly imagined experience. So what you have to do is to condition your self-image to calibrate through vividly imagining successful experiences, mental rehearsal and imagination. So you basically relax physically, you create a mental picture in your mind, and you experience yourself performing correctly. And this is where your dream building comes in. You experience the things you want in your dream, but I will show you how to do it properly using the technology we now have. So what you need to understand here, to properly calibrate this, I want you to understand that you'll need to visualize in the first person, not like Jack Canfield said third person. Of course you can alternate between, and you calibrate it like that. So you imagine yourself vividly when you dream building, at night, in the morning, and when you're gonna go about your day. The more you take on the self-image of the person who has the dream already, you begin to feel in a certain way. What you need to understand here as well, when you concentrate, when you focus on your dream, to create that state into your self-image and to become part of it, not just in waves oscillate, right? You're actually creating a momentum, and you keep it going based on the book The Path of Least Resistance. You want to be consistent, first of all, and also you will need to live constantly in a state of naturalness, because you will manifest anything in this world to the degree to which you consider that state to be natural to you. So you'll need to be relaxed and to be as natural as possible when you dream building. Remember, natural as possible, because your mind needs to see is all natural for you. Next, we have the self-discipline, the neuroscience. Science by Ray Collier. This book is about habits and less of the neuroscience or academic papers, and is heavily biased towards action and how that action is motivated by visualization and thinking. A notable point in the book is that you will need to do sensory-rich visualization. So by imagining your goals with vivid sensory detail, like seeing what success looks like, sounds like, feels like, helps strengthen neural patterns associated with disciplined behavior. Recording or imprinting this kind of sensory goal imagery is recommended as effort to fuel motivation and sustained effort. And this is where our dream building comes in. Right, now that we have the backing evidence behind why the dream building works, it's time to see how you can actually do the dream building work for you. How to dream build. Number one, we have feel. You will need to feel. This is the first prerequisite, right? You will need to feel your objective, because emotion is a force multiplier, right? Here you have the gratitude, excitement, relief, certainty, enjoyment, whatever you want to have. Number two, we have repetition, conditioning, right? So your repetition is conditioning at the point number two. You will need to repeat daily your dream, daily, okay? I cannot emphasize this more. You will need to do it daily to control your state. Here, consistency is very essential, very essential. You must become a seed. A seed has every time the idea of what's gonna become inside itself. This is where you need to become now. You need to feel the state of your dream now, and then remember what I said in the first part of this video is gonna pull you towards it, and all your actions are gonna be high quality. There's a very clean point I want to make here at the repetition. Remember, we're working with counter intentions and also the degree to which you feel the naturalness of your dream. What you need to understand here, the more you repeat the thing in your imagination, based on Maxwell Maltz's idea, is that you become more familiar with the thing, and this familiarity creates more naturalness, and your self-image will take on that thing, and you will believe is actually in it. The nervous system will believe is actually in it. And when you do this all repetition, all your psychological resistance is gonna drop. On point number three, we have no pressure and be detached. We have detachment, that is your non-resistance. What else? No pressure. That is pressure to perform. Detachment, no pressure. Here, we need to understand, and we look for something at the no pressure bit in my notes. Let me look in my notes about the no pressure. Right, detachment and no pressure says, letting go is the true testament that you're in a state of conviction. You know it's already done. What you need to understand at detachment and the no pressure phase is that most people depend on the dream, and this kills their stability, like they really want it. And this creates friction, because you expect it in a way where you don't allow it to happen. And you are not really prepared for the dream. You might not be the person yet to become, to have the dream happen. And so this creates pressure in this case. While on the other side, we have the people who are actually trying to detach from the dream, right? And what the dream should do, it should give you energy, and this kills their energy. But this is also not good to do. So the bottom line with detachment and no pressure coming from your dream must not be dependent upon. It must be just like a play. You will have to consider everything a play when you do this. You're not forcing too much. You say it would be nice to have, to do, and to become. Not much than that. It would be nice. Just say it would be nice, right? And this is how dream building works. It's just like a guidance system, which I'm gonna write down. It's a guidance only where you take energy from the dream. You expect it, but you expect it with a positive intent, right? You don't rely on it happening for how you feel. You just say, it would be nice. That's all. That's the detachment in a nutshell. But you begin to work ruthlessly at your dream while it might serve you as a guidance. Because remember, in the first part of the video, you will have to push towards the dream. But this is the right way of pushing towards the dream. By detachment, and I explained why. Because you don't rely on the dream for how you feel. The dream will only serve as a compass, as an image to get, as a goal for your Maxwell Maltz's psychocybernetics mechanism. So we can understand how your neurology will take care of you achieving the goal by actually helping you in the first phase to push towards the second half, and then from there is gonna pull you. The dream is gonna pull you, because the more and the closer you get to the dream, the faster and the more the dream is gonna grab you and pull you towards it, right? When you see the finish line, you will start to run faster than you've been running like at the beginning of the race. It has always been like that, and this is the proof. So you need that detachment. You need to realize that the dream is coming. Everything you want will come to you if you are serious about it. But don't treat it like a life or death mission. We're just playing here. We're just guidance only. Because the moment you put pressure, the moment you are attached of your outcome, you've ruined it all. Your energy is gonna drop because you expect it to happen in a certain way. But I'm telling you, you're not smart enough. The universe knows more, knows better. Come on, man, you try to make things happen in your own way, but the universe says this is not the way. And this is why people get attached. Don't be attached. Have no pressure on yourself. Let things happen. But make sure you state the intention. As I said in the second part of the video, you state the intention, you work through your counter intentions, and your dream building is gonna serve you as a battery for life until the day you die. And you will have purposes consistent with your self-image. That's the only way it will work for you. It will become your battery, okay? So make sure you detach and have no pressure. There's a lot more to this, but I hope you'll understand what you need to do. And also here, the feeling, make sure you have sensory, rich imagery. Okay, now that we know how to work with the dream building, let's see how we can actually build the dream. Let's see how we can develop a routine, morning and night. All you have to do, let's say you want to buy a car, or you want to buy some clothes, or you want to get something, you want to get the partner, right? The best thing we have these days is the phone. There are videos with the thing we want. There might not be videos of love, respect, neutrality, or other things of that nature, of the feeling side of nature. But let's say we have something tangible. Even though you can work with anything by controlling your state, right? By how you feel. Remember, because everything is a feeling. So all the things you want, regardless of what characteristics they have, you can still have them or grow them in you or attract them in your life by following the recipe I just gave you. So in the morning, it's simple. This is how I do it, bro. You can do it whatever you want, however you want. In the morning, you take your phone and you watch videos, phone videos of the thing. Phone videos of the thing. Be it traveling vlogs, being car reviews, or bike reviews, or gadgets reviews, anything. You take the videos and you're actually watching it closely. Like you take the whatever you have, the monitor, the phone, the laptop, and you watch it closely and you listen carefully how those people behave and live with that thing. Got it? And this is gonna go straight into your subconscious mind. And this is how you reprogram yourself for success, right? For the clothes, for the lifestyle, for the mindset, for the riches, for the abundance, for the more of life, for the level of energy. When you come out of there, it can be, let's say, 10-15 minutes of watching a car review or something. When you notice all of those details, they will all get into your subconscious mind. Remember, you're working with your subconscious mind. The vivid details of the video will go into your subconscious mind. When you finish the session, the reprogramming session of the dream building, you're gonna have a totally new, different level of energy. And it's gonna stay with you for 3 to 7 days. That's the period of how my nervous system works. So you will watch the videos of the thing you want, okay? To raise your state. Raise your state. And you will begin to see how your state improves. All your actions are going to be high quality actions. Because from now on, the moment you give your subconscious mind, this is what I want, this is so nice, it would be nice to have, to do, or to become, your subconscious mind, all right, this feels nice, I'm gonna work on that. And all your actions are gonna be inspired actions. When you put yourself on the frequency of the thing you want, you will start to think differently. It has always worked like that. But you need to do it consciously. You need to do it daily, under repetition. And you will condition your nervous system. And as Maxwell Maltz said in psychocybernetics, you will get the self-image to match the behavior and the actions. And obviously your actions will match the self-image, because now the self-image is coming from your state you just created by watching a simple video. Now, on the videos, make sure you watch the best ones, right? Don't watch like monotone ones. Watch the best ones. Watch the high engagement videos, like the ones that really make you see through the eyes of the girl who's holding the camera. And this is how you create your state, right? So choose your videos. And then after that, according to the neuroscience by Robert Collier, you create your own sensory imagery and you begin to live from that, right? You create a recording on your voice notes and then you record yourself. I highly suggest, by the way, you read or listen to the audiobook by Robert Collier. And in this recording, you create a visually rich sensory image where you talk about how nice it would feel when you have the thing you want, right? You create an image by voice, all right? And you begin to live it and actually be there at the moment when you replay it every day until your state improves. And you can do it indefinitely. There is no time limit on this. You can play it at night and you can play it in the morning. In the morning, you can also do some scripting, which is good. I'll have to make some videos on that though. But the phone videos of the thing you want can also be done at the noon. Don't forget. At night, same. Dream building. Look at the houses, the mansions. See how people live. See how the life is like on a yacht. See how is life in different places. See everything. Be a knower. Seek the best videos and you will see your states improve. Now, at night, you visualize. At night, you will have to visualize your intentions. This is a non-negotiable, right? And you will visualize with emotion and then with detachment in the same time, as in, it would be nice just to serve as a guidance only, but you will visualize your intentions. Have an intention list, by the way. Be very clear on what you want. I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but I assumed, and it was a mistake to assume, that people already know what they want, because so many people don't know what they want and they go through life just like that. But please be specific in what you want, right? Or how you want to feel, because your thing might not be a thing, it might be a feeling, right? So the dream building or the dream can be of either nature. So at night, you visualize your intention with a feeling, right? Because emotion is a force multiplier. It will raise your state. Don't forget. Now, what you need to understand here, based on Robert Collier and Kevin Trudeau, you will need to all the time, 3 times a day at least, look on your phone, other thing you want, a picture, a video, a recording, your sensory recording, and actually think about them. Give clear thoughts, right? Look at your intention. Deal with counter intentions when the thing happens, if you have any counter intentions. If not, just take the state. Wow, it would be nice to have it. It would be so nice to be there, you know? It would be nice for this to happen. Wow. And then put your phone back. And as a secret, but don't tell to anyone, every time you go to the toilet to piss, take out your phone and look over your intention list. Every time you go, right? It will save you so much time. It will make you super focused and you will maintain your state. I read this nowhere. I'm the only one doing it and I'm giving it here clearly because it's one of the best techniques to stay on track. Because some of you can laugh, but if your thing is so important to you, then to give all your time and attention and energy to it, then you will have to do it as often as possible. And that's the best time you can do. All right? Got it. This is it. This is the video. Now, if you have any questions, comments or observations, please leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next videos.